We talk to people all the time, like, oh my God, $50,000, that sounds like a lot of money. Let's just think back how much time, effort, and money you have spent over the last 3, 5, 10 years developing your model. They don't have to do that. You're going to hand it to them and teach them what mistakes you've made and what they're not going to make, and all the ways to do it properly. There's a value in that. So they pay you a one-time upfront franchise fee. Now, I tell everybody, don't look at that one-time franchise fee as some big profit center. Right? You want it to cover all your marketing costs that you spent to get this person to come to you. Maybe you owe a commission to somebody, like a consultant if it came from them, but you've got enough money left over to cover your training costs. It's not a big profit center. Now, as you start to sell more than one franchise a month, okay, now it starts to cover salaries and some other expenses as well. But mainly, you just want it to almost like break even to get that franchisee up and running. That's what that's for. Then they're going to pay for everything that it takes to open that location. Whatever that might be. If it's brick and mortar, you've got licenses, you've got build out, you've got whatever equipment they need to have. So whatever those costs are, maybe it's as low as $5,000 if it's a work from home kind of a service business, to you get into full service restaurants, it could be $2 million and they don't even get open for a year to 18 months, right? So it just depends. But they're paying for all of that. Your cost was just the marketing cost to get them to you. Then you're going to start earning those royalties that we were talking about. You're going to get a piece of every gross dollar of sales they have, somewhere between 5 and 10%, depending on your model and profit margins. So now you don't have hardly any risk, right? The risk is all on them. You're not signing leases of their location. You're not, it's all on them to run that business. You're giving them advice, coaching, but all the risk is on them. No contracts, no liability regarding employees. Yeah, so one of the things you're going to do, so in the franchise agreement that they sign with you, you're going to spell out exactly what insurance coverage requirements they must have, and they have to get it. And you're going to require them to name you, the franchisor entity, additionally insured. So if they have some big insurance claim, and whoever the claimant is says, oh, they're the big franchisor, they got the deep pockets, we're going to name them too. Even though you have no liability, you still have to defend yourself, right? Their insurance policy covers you, right? Because they're going to name you additionally insured on their policy. Now, let's think of how you can grow now, right? You've got these other offices popping up. So you are able to grow much quicker and faster because you're using other people's money to do this. And you don't need much staff. One of the great things about franchising is you're working and coaching and mentoring other business owners. So it's not, you're not getting bogged down like they're your employees, right? If they didn't have somebody show up for work that day, that ain't your fault. That ain't your problem. Don't even call me about it, right? But if you want some help in marketing and growing your business and running better operations, we're here to help you do that. So it's really a small team that you need. On average, I think he's coming off here. On average, it's only, in franchising, it's only one corporate support person for every 10 or more franchisees. Now the variable there depends on, what kind of support you need to provide that franchisee. Depends your model. Anywhere from, one corporate support person for 10 or more franchisees. Way different. So, as I said, you're not getting bogged down in the day-to-day operations role now, right? You've trained them. They may call you with questions, with issues they're having, but you're supporting them for their top line performance. That's the main thing. You're trying to help them make money and help their business run smoothly. So, these are different. These aren't employees, right? These are business owners. They run these locations more profitably and efficiently than employees would. They're a vested owner. They put a bunch of money into this. So, once in a while you get a knucklehead, you think, why did you even spend this money, right? You need to get them out of the system. But most of the time, they do a much better job than employees would running these locations. So, it means they also keep them cleaner, better. There's everything about them is better than if you had an employee running these locations. Now, you still have control over this, right? You're going to go around and check on them, meet them, coach them up, but you're also checking on compliance as well. Are they doing things properly? How's the place look? So, as I mentioned a moment ago, you don't need very much staff to support franchisees to continue growing. So I want to mention something. I know Nick earlier, he likes to talk everything's big, gigantic. You're going to be the next big franchisor in the United States. You don't have to be. Success is relative. Steve and I get a lot of people come to us and say, hey, Rick, I want to go slow and steady. A couple of franchisees a year, and I'm happy with that. I'm going to grow right here in this little region, right? That's fine. It's whatever you want. Nobody's going to force you to grow your business really fast. But of course, you come to us like some do and say, hey, Rick, I want to blow this thing up and exit the company in a few years. All right, we can help you do that as well. You control your growth. You decide who to bring on, when to bring them on. You're not forced to grow faster than you wish to. So, we were talking about marketing a moment ago. So, you're going to dictate to the franchisee what they have to do locally. You know what works. And you're going to say, you have to spend X amount of dollars or percentage of revenue or whatever it is on these efforts locally because you know that's what works to bring in customers into the location. Then, normally, you are also going to have the franchisee pay into a brand fund, a marketing fund, every month. And you pull that money together from your franchisees. This is money that you are going to spend for the benefit of the brand and the franchisees. We always recommend you set up a separate checking account for that so you can survive any kind of an audit to prove that you're not spending some of their money to go find and sell franchises, right? It has to be and it's very broad. I mean, almost anything you do, if it benefits the brand, it's benefiting the franchisees. It can even support staff. We're talking about a marketing person on your staff. I had one, and they spent about half their time on marketing for the franchisees and half of their time on finding franchisees. So half her salary, we paid it out of the brand fund coming from the franchisees. So, royalties, as I said, 5 to 10%. Are you a high overhead, small profit margin model, like full service restaurant? There's not a lot of margin there. 4 or 5% is all you're going to be able to charge them. But you get into the ones that's low overhead, high profit margins. We're going to help you decide this because we want to maximize the royalty that you can collect from the franchisees, but making sure you're leaving enough money and profits there for them that they're happy and they might want to buy another territory or they're going to bring a referral to you. As I said, there's that marketing fee brand fund. It can be anywhere from 1 to 5%. You look at some of the great big national brands that do lots of television advertising, sometimes it gets as high as 8%. That's rare though, but we're talking the normal marketing fee, brand fee they're going to send you. And what you can also say, you have the right to charge up to a certain amount, but maybe in the beginning you're only starting to charge X, okay? Technology fee. So this is also broad. So any costs that you have associated with running any kind of technology that supports the franchisees, you can charge a technology fee to the franchisees. Again, let's say you don't really have much going on. You don't have any custom software. Now you're going to start adding their location pages on your website. Maybe you are going to have some custom software down the road. So you can say you have the right to charge up to a certain amount. Maybe you don't institute it yet, but down the road you can charge $300 a month, $500 a month, whatever that might be. And as I said earlier though, the franchisees are happy to pay you fees if it's making their life better. If you're helping them make them money and make their life run easier, they're happy to let you handle that for them and I'll pay you a fee to take care of that for me. Special revenues, Nick was talking about that. So sometimes the franchisee is actually going to be buying product from you. You're making it and selling it to them. Get into food products, things of that nature, or it might be equipment. You can have a markup, you're allowed to make money off of that, you just want to make sure they can't go buy the same thing someplace else for cheaper, right? Then we get into the rebates that Nick was talking about. And this can be substantial in certain industries. I mean, if you are buying lots of things from vendors and suppliers to run your business off of, now the franchisees, that's multiplying. Prices come down, you're able to keep part of that margin coming back to you. I mean, there's some franchisors that make as much money off of rebates as they do royalties. All right, so let's get back to our full package. I started to get into that a moment ago. So we currently charge $59,500, but that is going to include not only your FDD, and by the way, if you went straight to a franchise attorney, and we get a lot of these, that they already did that. Well, how am I going to market, Rick? I want everything else you've got. I paid this guy $25,000 to do my FDD. Can I get that discounted? No, sorry. We're getting you an incredible discount because we do volume, and we have negotiated rates with the attorneys we use, and we're bringing them 3-4 new clients a month, right? So, no, I'm sorry, this is my little bitty discount that I'm going to give you for paying an attorney to do what you should have let us do. So, your FDD in agreement, then we get into the operations manual. So, something else I wanted to mention also. I told you about us helping you fill out the information the attorneys are going to need. That is a long questionnaire, and we go through that in detail with you to gather that before we hand you to the franchisee. We do the same, to the attorney. We do the same thing with your operations manual. So there are a lot of things that go in a manual that goes in every franchise manual, right? We're going to put that in there for you, but then with this long questionnaire that Monique's going to give you, we're going to gather all sorts of information that's very specific to your business. And we will start writing this for you, putting this in this manual. It'll go back and forth to you, letting you double check it. You'll think of things you forgot. You train your first franchisee, you're going to think, oh yeah, I'm going to add this there, right? So the nice thing about the manual is that's just how they run the business. And that's how you control them and run their business. You're allowed to make changes to that anytime you wish. Franchise agreement they're on, that's 10 years. You can't change that. That's more about the rules and what they pay you. The operations manual dictates how they run the business. And you're allowed to make changes to that anytime. And you notify the franchisees, hey, effective whatever date, boom. Then they have to address it. It could be hours of operation, it could be vendors and suppliers, whatever that might be. So you have total control. Then we get into the marketing, as I said. So you're going to get a franchise brochure, a one-sheet flyer to hand out at the expos, development landing pages on your website. Now, we don't send the press release out. They develop it for it. You decide how you want the press release sent out. Sometimes, as I said, they're just going to work this for one region for franchisees. Sometimes you want to go out nationally. That's up to you, but it's prepared for you. Then, the Great American Franchise Expos, you get 12 expos exhibited in. If you or somebody from your team can be there, you get your own 10 by 10 booth. You can do whatever you want. You can give away free samples. You can do whatever. No. We own the show, so people bring in trucks. We do all sorts of demonstrations. Yes?
Is it 12 in that amount of time, or just 12 we go to?
So, as soon as you have your FDD, the clock starts ticking, and you are exhibited there. So, if you don't show up, we are there, right? You'll see it tomorrow. We have kind of a pavilion area down an aisle, and we'll have your pop-up banner that's included in our aisle if you're not there. And everyone comes down our aisle. We talk to them. We introduce them to our clients, and anyone that wants to learn more about your brand, we scan them, and we send that information to you free of charge. So you're being exhibited either by us or if you're there. I'd say most of our clients come to 1/3 to half of the expos. The ones that are in their state or close by or a market they really want to target. You don't have to be there. It's good that you are. I mean, you're talking to people face to face as opposed to relying on us. And it gives you great experience too. Talking about your model, your franchise to people who are interested. It really gives you good experience. So when you start to talk to people by phone, you're more prepared. Then the franchise journal. So we're going to do a full page profile about you and your new franchise opportunity. That goes out to over 500,000 people. And then every month for the next year, you get another full page ad in the magazine. So lots of exposure. And just to give you an idea, if you came and bought those individually, not a package like we have, it's over $114,000 you would have paid for all that stuff you're getting. But you're getting a big discount because we're putting it all together in one shot. Now something else, Steve, I think you have to click on that. So, a lot of our clients are brick and mortar. I'd say 1/3. And many times their franchisees need to do design work, to lay it out, get everything. So Nick went out and invested in a program to help design the interior of their locations, and at an incredible discount. I think we figured, so this is an example, but this is one we just did for a client of ours that it's an indoor, it's got everything from virtual golfing, pool. Can you go back, Monique, where it shows from the very beginning? Oh, is this the only one we have on here? Okay. But it starts with just like architectural drawings, right? Then it just keeps adding and adding and adding samples of wallpaper, floor covering, you name it, helping you design what their location is going to be. And normally, I guess, I was told this would cost you like $15,000 to get done. I believe we're offering it, and it's going to be your franchisee paying for it for $3,000, I believe. Oh, technology. Oh well. So, when I mentioned this morning that when Nick and I designed Franchise Genesis, then we brought on Monique and Steve, we wanted to make this a much easier process to help busy business owners like yourself turn their business into a franchise. And that's what we did. So, you sign up with us, we do the launch call we talked about, and we're going to go through all the legal questions that you're going to need to start thinking about that we showed you earlier. We're going to share with you competitors' FDDs and go through those on a spreadsheet so you get to talk about that. You know, we ask you for things, send us your logo, any artwork. If you have any operations manuals of any type, send them to us. Anything that are going to be of value. But we go through, it takes about an hour, right? And then we let you start working on those legal documents. Then we have another call with you to kind of go through where you're struggling to come up with any ideas or information needed. Then we feel you're ready, then we hand you over to the franchise attorneys to start working. But now you've got a head start for him so he's not getting bogged down explaining everything to you. Then we kind of go through, the operations manual process, like I talked about, all those questions. So after you've been working with the franchise attorneys for a few weeks and we feel you're far enough along, then we start to work with you on the operations manual. Then after we've made decisions about what you're going to charge for a franchise fee, what's your brand fee going to be like, all those kinds of things, then the marketing company can start working on your marketing materials, your landing pages, because now we're talking pricing as well, right? So they start working on that. Then toward the end, we have 2 training classes. One is a franchise marketing and sales training class. We go through a lot of the things that I went through quickly here earlier. What maybe the associated cost might be to do those types of things. Then we have an operations training class.